What's up, DCI family? Happy Monday, June 6th. Father's Day is just a couple weeks around the corner. If you haven't got your dad's a gift, that was my PSA for you guys. But thank you guys so much for hopping on today. Adam Peterson here with DCI. We have great information for you, and we have a special guest speaker to help with some training for you guys as well. I will introduce shortly. But this call is important. This call is about BTN. And as of we have now finalized, finally May, right? And we got done with all the SDDN stuff. We are now shifting that focus back to BTN, the Boost Transform Network, the Black SIM Card Network, the AT&T Network, right? So we got to really step our games up. Like all doors are expected to be selling this. This should be your lead offer. So we want to make sure you guys are comfortable. Go over the changes that have happened lately. And make sure that you guys are fully capable to activate on this network because it is a little different. And we all know there's been some bumps along the way, right? It continues to get better, but this is the future. This is where we're going with it. So can everyone see my screen?
We've got you.
Okay, so hopefully you can hear me because I was rambling for a minute there. Very good. Thank you, Julia. Okay, so guys, before I jump into the content, wanted to give you a reminder of the contest we launched last week. This is a DCI exclusive contest. So you guys all have great odds of winning this. And it's what's really great is how we set this up is anyone can win, no matter if you always had a high percentage or if you were low and you get a big lift. So let me give you the details real quick. It goes through the month of June, right? So we're on the 6th today. Stores are just kind of been open for a couple hours, so it's about a week in. But the door that has the highest lift in Boost Shield attachment rate will get up to $500 for their store. Second highest in Boost Shield attachment rate, $250. Third highest lift in Boost Shield attach rate, it will be $50. Also, so that's the lift, right? So if you were low and you're increasing it, that's great. What if you said, "Oh, my store is always good"? Well, if your store is always good, guess what? There's a contest there for you with the same kind of prizes. Highest Boost Shield attachment rate, $500. Second highest Boost Shield attachment rate, $250. Third highest Boost Shield attachment rate, $50. The rules, the activations must be done through the Boost sales portal or an Elevate DOP to be eligible. For if you're a BR or PBR, you have to have that minimum 50 boxes sold, that includes new and upgrades and BYOD, so it's not just new, it's your total box sales. The Boost Shield must be activated during the activation process, and ties will be awarded to the door with the highest sales. Now, keep in mind there's up to 5 winners per retail location. So this is for your reps in the front line. So when I talk about first lift, highest lift and Boost sales attachment rate gets up to 500. So how many reps do you have at your store? Do you have 2, 3, 4, 5? Basically, every rep will get $100 for that prize. If it's second place where it's $250, every rep there will get $50. So this really is a great way to drive that behavior on your front lines with your reps, if you're a rep on this call. So it doesn't just go to like a store fund for, swag or whatever. Like this is for the reps, right? So that's when we say up to, it's based on how many reps are in the store. All right. So sell that Boost Shield all day, every day. Use the assumption close. It's my go-to. I ask at first, I qualify the customer. Do you watch Snap, Hulu, Vudu, anything like that? If their answer is yes, okay, perfect. We have a great plan and qualify how many lines they need, right? That's important because a lot of stores just assume the one-line sale. Now, they could have extra people in their family, so you need to ask those questions. But let's say it is a one-line sale. You watch Snap, Hulu, Vudu, anything like that on your phone? If they do, perfect. I have the great plan for you. $67 a month, unlimited talk, text, data, high-def video streaming, plus protection on your device. When you roll it out that way, Boost Shield will always stick. If you go in there and you ring it up and you get to the point where you need to add attachments and your reps say, you want to add insurance for $7, you're going to get majority no. So it's in how you pitch it. So anyway, wanted to highlight that. Looking forward to see your guys' numbers increase in June. Key priorities we have, and these are, I put for the week, but really priorities can change with these. We're kind of monthly priorities as well. One, want to make sure you guys all have events planned for the month of June. We're getting back to doing outside events. World's kind of going back to normal. So we want to make sure you guys all have an event planned in the month of June. If you do not yet have an event, please reach out to your DCI account manager and we can help get one scheduled for you. Second, maximize and lead with the Btn offers in June. Last month, we're looking at minimum of 5 per day. Now we're looking at majority of your activations should be on BTN. In other words, if it's eligible for BTN, you should be activating on BTN. It's really important to have future promos, like if we want free iPhones and stuff to continue, that we get more of our customers on that, because it does save so much money to the Boost brand through Dish that it's a huge priority for them. So we need to really see that level of activity increase, which is the point of this call today. Next, continue to push ACP. We talked about 1 sale per day last month. You know, new month, new game plan. Right now we're looking at 2 per day. So increase those ACP sales, set your goal at 2 per day, and then don't forget your smile and dial, looking for 20 calls per day per store. All right, moving on. Some of the BTN updates that are on the sales portal for you guys. Good news, bad news. Good news, we do have add-a-lines on the $60 BTN plan. However, a little bit of pump on the brakes on it, because currently I don't want to do the secondary add-a-lines. The functionality is there, but it's not working correctly. I don't anticipate this as being a long-term issue. I think that's going to get resolved pretty shortly. So it's definitely a big plus. We can do add-lines on that plan. But there is an update as of this morning when I logged in and checked it that says do not activate on those devices. Also, last month we had the iPhones on BOGO, right? Well, now we have the Samsung A13 for free port-in on the BTN network, and it's BOGO, again, only on the BTN network. That A13 is not BOGO capable on the Orange SIM card network or the TN network. Other important updates. I'm really just going to hit on the BTN ones here, because I just kind of snipped this slide here, so I'm not going to talk about the old network. But one thing I do want to talk about is we want all payments to be on the BTN network. The exception to all payments being on that network is your Xfinity boxes. So when you're making your payments for Xfinity, go through your traditional desktop app, Elevate rather, to make sure that customer gets that $5 discount. Don't make the Xfinity payments through Elevate Web at this time. It is going to be capable in the near future. So when we talk to you in your store visits about, hey, there's no excuse not to make your payments on the Elevate Web. It's the same thing. Make all your payments on Elevate Web. We want to make sure you're doing that, with the exception of your Xfinity payments. Still use the old Elevate for that. Also, renewed iPhone activations on the BTN network. Make sure you update all the renewed iPhones to the latest software before activating them. And if you're activating on the BTN network, or a customer's coming in now, they've already activated in the past and they're making a payment. If they're still suspended after making a payment, check to see if they have device protection and review their most recent payment. There may be a miscalculation in the payment that didn't account for that $7 device protection, in which case you process a $7 payment from the customer, and then you can validate the service is restored. Lastly, updates for the BTN network here. Effective immediately, each new BTN account must have their own email address. So this is really important. Do not use duplicates. A unique email address needs to be entered for each account or line. If the customer has the same email on their account as another account, you're receiving an error when you do a plan change. So why is this important? In case your customers ever want to change plans in the future, they must have their own individual email accounts. Any questions on those updates?
I have a question, Adam. Okay, so everybody has to have their email address, but sometimes, you know, it's a family plan and they're trying to get it for their kids. How do we go about that? Should we make an email address for each kid?
Yep, 100%. Yep.
Okay, and then we'll just do that through the computer first, and then right, and then use that for there. Okay.
Yep, you got it.
Question. Is that the same thing for a name, or it could all be under one name?
No, it's just email address. The name shouldn't matter.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yep. All right, any other questions on this slide? Forward. So the BTN enhancements. So one thing I just want to talk about, when you're doing BTN, I understand it's different than how your normal process was. We're getting very comfortable with it now, or let's say more and more comfortable. I understand the issues you guys are seeing every day. Just want to make sure things that make it easier for you guys in the field, right? Make sure all the BTN capable devices are updated with the latest firmware. I see a lot of dealers that'll just take the phones out of the boxes and update the firmware before they even activate to kind of speed up that process. Make sure you're taking your time and entering everything correctly and using that right SIM card. Some of the things that are new and possible now on BTN that have changed since their launch: One is the plan changes, which kind of touched on, where when you do the plan change, you got to make sure you have the separate email addresses. 2, we now have the extras on there, like device protection. Remember at launch, we couldn't do device protection on Btn. Now we can. We can also now do device swaps and SIM changes. You can do multi-lines, so maximum 3 lines currently. So there's a 3 for 90 out there, right? 50, 30, 10. We can do add-lines currently. The $60 multi-line, which that's a yes and no, right? Yes, we have it, but we've been told to stop because there's an issue, but that's going to come back. Port in fix, because there were some issues porting in. That's been taken care of. Port in department, and then coming soon, the AAL pricing as well. So with that said, I told you I had a special guest. He wanted to make sure you guys knew he's my best friend and favorite person in the world, Alex Popra from Boost. He's a Chicago rep. Back when I was on the Boost side, he was my main hire. I love this guy. He's so awesome. And I asked him to join us today because he is very comfortable in all the BTN aspects of activation. And he had some great tools he shared with me that I put in this deck that I'll send to all the account managers. But what he had is basically walkthroughs where you can walk through every single scenario. So if you're not comfortable or your team needs to practice, there's the links here in this deck that I'll send out for you guys to practice. But he's going to go over 3 main things. The 3 things that are probably going to be most impactful to your business: how to process single and multi-line activations, add-a-line activations, and the process changes and extras like insurance. With that said, I will hand it over to Alex, and you can share your screen. You should be good to go.
Awesome. Well, Adam, first of all, thank you so much. And can you hear me?
I got you, buddy.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know how I'm going to top that, but I sure will attempt. All right, guys. So just let me know when you can see my screen, Adam, before I begin here.
We got it.
Awesome. So obviously you guys should have all did a BTN sale by now. If not, this may be new to you, but for the most part, this should not be new to you. So I will breeze through this so we can get to the multi-line and the add-a-line. If there are any questions, please let me know. I'll do my best to kind of walk you through them. And then I'll kind of point out some important things for those of you who have done this before, just to kind of look out for and speed up the process a little bit. So anyway, we'll get right into it. Guided flow, we're going to hit new customer, and this will be a single line activation. Just verify you're older than 13, put in the zip code, and hit check availability. Once you've done that, just address what you're activating, if it's a port in or a new. If it's a port in, right now, it's going to tell you if the number is eligible. However, there was an additional step we had to take before where we had to go to the sales portal and verify. We do not need to do this anymore, so don't worry about this. This is an older step. Right now, the portal does it for you, so you guys don't have to worry about that anymore. So now if you hit check eligibility, they'll tell you you'll be good to go. Here, you're going to type in the IMEI. This piece is extremely important, okay? If it says device compatible, you guys are good to go. If it asks you if this is a BYOD, you should stop immediately because that device was probably previously activated and you want to verify that before you continue with the process. So this is what you want to look for. Now, if it does ask if it's a bring your own device and it is a bring your own device, you can continue. But if it's a new device and it is asking you if it's a BYOD, it will not discount properly. So you want to stop there and reach out if you need help. So anyway, we're going to hit OK.
Yeah, so Alex, in that case, they're probably going to want, if that show device is showing like previously activated, that's probably going to be an RMA back to us at DCI.
Absolutely, most of the time. Yes, sir. For the SIM card number, this is a little bit different compared to our current portal. On the top, you're going to type in the whole SIM card. On the bottom, you're going to type in a UPC. If you type in anything else, it will not let you go next. And this is actually, believe it or not, where most of my calls used to come. So again, top SIM card, bottom UPC. We're going to hit continue. At this point, you'll see the device. You're going to hit select plans. Just one key note here. We don't have a $35 plan yet. We have a 40, a 50, and a 60. And the one big difference here is our $60 plan on BTN includes Mexico calling, which is a big win. All right. So here we're just going to select the $50 plan. We're going to hit add accessories. If you guys have existing codes for like a screen protector in case, you can type it in right here. It will come into the transaction, which is great. But for now, we're just going to continue without it. We're going to hit proceed to activation. We're going to type in the customer's info. Adam touched up on that email, guys, super critical. And the other piece to it that he didn't mention is in case you need to change your PIN, this is going to be required for the email portion. So another really important reason. And the second piece to that is it gives us the ability to market to these customers for free. And that's extremely important because when we do market, your address is going to be labeled and it's more business for you guys in the long run. All right. So we're going to proceed. We're going to fill out all the customers' information. Please make sure you fill out their address, as sometimes zip code is required for the port in. All right. We're going to proceed. Make sure you type in the correct account information. Again, I know you guys have done this for quite a bit, so I'm sure you know that. And then just hit add to cart. Now, when it comes to BTN, this is absolutely my favorite feature. So I know with the old portal, we have to activate first and take payment at the end. What ended up happening is a lot of customers wouldn't be able to afford it. So the good news here is if the customer cannot afford to pay, if you hit this little trash can right here, this whole transaction is canceled and it doesn't go through. So now we have the ability to stop customers from kind of gaming us in a way, which is awesome. Another good piece of news is before we had to activate a coupon to discount the price, we no longer have to do this, as right now everything will be automatically deducted. Okay. Once everything looks good, just hit make payment. Take the payment however you'd like. We're going to hit cash in this example.
Hey, Alex, can I ask you a question real quick?
Yes, sir.
What have you heard? I'll tell you what I've heard, but what have you heard when the correct pricing doesn't show up on that? When it's make payment and the phone is listed a different price, what are you hearing on your end?
I mean, there's a couple of different reasons. The biggest one is the BYOD thing that I mentioned. The second piece, if somehow the API isn't properly updated on your Elevate, if you call Elevate, they will fix it for you and you'll be able to go through. But before you just continue with the transaction, make sure you reach out to either us or Elevate just to verify which of the two it is. Elevate will tell you if the price is not manually discounted, that it has something to do with the phone, which has been, a revelation for us.
And what was important that what I heard is sometimes dealers were doing manual discounts, and I heard manual discounts aren't getting paid out correctly, in which case dealers have to find appeals. So don't do a manual discount unless you call Elevate and get it fixed in their system.
Yeah, correct. Awesome. So we're going to hit complete transaction. But as you guys know, it is not the final step. We're going to want to go into the sales bag, find the transaction, and now we're going to do the final step here. What's really important here, guys, is if it's a new activation, it should typically take between 2 to 5 minutes. And when you hit refresh status, you're going to see an activated button. If this was a port in and something went wrong, it will say pending action, and you will have to either adjust the account number, PIN, or make any other adjustments if something has gone wrong. And I will show you guys how to manually edit it yourself so you don't have to call, which is going to save you guys a ton of time. We'll do that at the end. But if it is gone through correctly, and it does say activated here, we're going to hit submit to ePay. We're going to take that payment like usual, hit complete transaction, hit OK. And on the very bottom now, you'll see that this transaction has been paid, and you will be good to go. Obviously, the last piece here is just to print the receipt and move on with the transaction. So again, this piece really shouldn't be new to almost anybody because everybody's almost done one. The one that I feel people aren't the most comfortable with is doing a multi-line. And the beauty of multi-line with this network is it's significantly easier than it was before, and it's quicker. There's only literally one step difference between the two transactions, which I'll show you in a second. So again, we're going to do the same process here. We're going to check eligibility. We're going to hit whatever your transaction is. We're going to type in the device just like normal. The only difference now is you're going to see this add a line button. Okay, so you want to click here before you hit select plans. All right, so once you hit add a line, a new screen on the bottom will pop up and you're going to add those additional lines of service. And what's great is it's super quick. We're just going to type in the IMEI, the serial number of device, and it's done. That literally took us about 20 seconds. And if you did want to add that third line, we're going to go ahead and hit add line. But since we aren't going to be doing that, we're just going to hit select plans. And at this point, you're going to be selecting the plan that you are going to sell to the customer. The rest of the process is exactly the same. There's no adjustments you need to make other than if one of the lines maybe has a wrong port in account number or PIN, you'll make that adjustment at the end, but everything else should be exactly the same. And then for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through the rest of that. And if there's any questions, please let us know. All right. So a lot of your customers by now have already been activated on BTN, and they're probably going to come in and want to do either account maintenance or account service. A lot of them will probably like to add a line to their account. And this is the biggest misconception that I see, is us telling the customer that they cannot add a line to their account. That is false. We do have that feature and it is available. The only thing we don't have is the ability to give them add a line pricing yet, but that is coming soon. All right. To add a line to their account, it's extremely simple, guys, but just two things to keep in mind. One, only the $50 plan and the $60 plans have add a line option available. However, the 60 is still temporarily down, but the 50 absolutely does. All right. And the different step here that we're going to take is we're going to hit guided flow, and instead of new customer, we're going to hit existing. Once we hit existing customer, you'll see two options. You'll see a account summary, and right on that, you'll see a lovely add a line option, or you'll see a dish sales portal. We're obviously going to hit the account summary button, and we're going to proceed to put in the account information for the customer. Once you've logged into the customer, you'll see an add a line button. As soon as you click on that, it will take you to the screen to do a zip code check and then verify if you're doing a port in or a new. The rest of the process is exactly the same. The only thing with the add a line button is you cannot do multiple add a lines at once. You have to wait till the first one completes, and then you can do another one. So if somebody comes in and wants to do 3 lines, make sure you do the multi-line. But if somebody comes in and already has BTN, you want to do the add a line function. Just keep in mind, you cannot combine 2 existing BTNs at this time yet. It is an availability function that we're going to have in the future.
And Alex, just to clarify, if they're doing 3 activations the same day, you can do them through one flow. It's when they come in a month later, want to do an add a line, we have to do them one at a time.
Correct. Absolutely. So always do the multi-line flow because it's super quick. I have had a dealer who did the primary line, then did the add a line function twice, which obviously took a lot longer than just being able to do the multi-line flow all at once, which you saw was super quick, right? All right. Adam, any questions so far in the chat, maybe?
Any questions for Alex? Nothing in the chat. Now's your time to ask. Any questions for Alex so far and what he's covered?
Awesome. If there are questions.
Yeah, so what if one of the lines go through and then the other one is pending and you have to cancel and refund it? Do you have to go through the add a line like this, or you can just go back and add the line the regular way?
Well, here's the deal. If you're doing a 2 line and you can't fix that 3rd line, you're going to want to return that last line, and then you can add the line via this function after the fact.
Okay.
Yeah, but you should always try to fix it the other way, because it's going to complicate the process, especially if you already submitted to ePay for the other 2 lines. So always try to fix it, especially if it's a incorrect port in number, or excuse me, incorrect count in number or PIN. Always give that attempt, especially now that we have the ability to call in BTN port in support. Typically, they'll be able to fix that issue for you now. All right, great question. All right, hold on.
Any other questions? Alex, you went pretty quick to say no questions. We'll give one more second. Are there any other questions before you move
forward?
So this is going to be a little complicated. You have like 5 more seconds. All right, you're good, bro.
Awesome. Sorry, that's my fault. I want to make sure I get everybody here out of here by 12:30. So I've been just trying to speed up. So guys, plan changes are a little bit more confusing. They're a little different to what we're used to right now. The great change is if somebody wants to go up higher to a higher rate plan. So let me give you guys an example, right? Let's say I'm on the $40 plan and I want to go up to the 50, and I've already used all 15 gigs and I'm still 10 days from my billing cycle. The awesome thing about BTN is they can just pay a $10 difference, and we can move them to the $50 plan instantly, and they will get the rest of that data of the $50 plan right away, which is awesome. It's a big win for us. But because we don't have the ability to immediately plan change when going down, it's a little bit more complicated, okay? So let me give you guys an example of that. Let's say I have the $60 rate plan and I want to go down to the 50, all right? Even if their bill is due today, we have to future date it. So what does that mean for you, right? The best scenario would be if the customer was to come in a day before their billing due date. And typically we actually see that more often with BTN because BTN shuts off right at the minute that the payment was taken 30 days from now. So a best practice that we have is to have people sent in a day before their actual due date. But if that was to happen and you future dated the rate plan, the customer will be switched to, for example, from the 60 to 50 to the $50 rate plan the next day. But if they came in on their billing due date, they would have to continue with that $60 rate plan until next month. So that is a pretty significant change for us compared to before. So again, a big win if you're going up, a little bit more of a tougher scenario if we're going down. All right. To process this plan change, again, very easy with the portal. We're going to go to guided flow. We're going to hit existing customer, except this time, instead of hitting account summary, we're going to hit the dish sales portal. Once you've tapped on that, we're going to do an account lookup, find the account, and we're going to look for this button on the very bottom that says actions. When you click on that, you'll see the ability to change plan or add extras. What we're going to do for this specific scenario is hit change plan, and you'll see one of the two options. Okay, you're just going to choose the plan that you want, hit next, review the changes, and it will show you their rate plan cost, and hit save change. Just keep in mind, a payment is not required to do a future date. Okay, so if their bill is due a day before, you don't have to pay until the next day, but they can add the funds if they choose to do that. Okay. Before I continue to extras, any other questions on how to perform a plan change? In the words of Adam, I'll give you guys 5 more seconds. All right, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Extras are pretty much the exact same thing. The only difference with the extras is that the payment will be required to be made right away because the extras are going to be added on right away. Just the one big thing with extras, guys, we've noticed with the $50 rate plan, sometimes the extra doesn't appear. So you might have to go after the fact and add it on with this process. The other piece to really think about, unfortunately at this current moment in time, we don't have the ability to add Mexico calling for line 2 and 3. So the $60 rate plan will be a really good utility tool in the meantime, where it already comes with Mexico calling. You don't really have to worry about that. But again, only line 1 will be able to get Mexico calling at this moment in time. To do an extra feature, it's the exact same thing. We're going to hit guided flow, existing customer, dish sales portal. We're going to find their account. We're going to look for that extras or actions button on the bottom. And you will see the account balance right there. And then you will also see, once you hit extras, add extras. Excuse me, once you hit actions, add extras. Once you hit add extras, all of the options that are available will pop up. And you're going to select whichever one you'd like. And once you select the extras, it's going to ask you to type in the transaction number from the payment that you took. If for some reason it doesn't work, you can just type in all zeros. It will go through. But you do want to try to put in that transaction number, as it will speed up the process. And once you hit submit, it will have already been added on into the account. And a great best practice would be to go back into the account and verify that that extra has been added. All right. Any other questions?
Alex, there's a question in the chat. I put an answer to make sure you confirm the same answer.
Yep.
Customers on auto pay. Is their bill still due every 30 days? Or
Yes,
is it
exactly.
on the same day?
It's going to be due on the same exact day it was activated. With this network, it takes away. So, for example, if a customer came in and activated their service on 12/31 of 6/6, their account will be pulled 30 days at the exact same time. Or excuse me, not their balance will be pulled, but their account will be deactivated 30 days from that same time
So
frame.
it's not the exact same day every month. That's the point. It's 30 days.
Yeah, no, it's 30 days, correct. And then the final thing I'm going to show you guys, and this little guide is in the deck that Adam will send you guys. So I actually utilize this for 90% of the problems. And the great thing is there's pictures and walkthroughs through everything. So take advantage of this, especially if your master agent rep or your account executive might not be available. It's a great little resource for you guys. But one big thing I really want to show you guys is how to submit a port, because we see this happen all the time. And the wait times on customer service aren't always the best. So take advantage of the ability of being able to do this yourself. So if you guys see an action required with your port in, go ahead and go into your guided flow. You're gonna once again hit existing customer. Unfortunately, there's no photos here, but from the process we just did, you'll be able to see it. And once you get into the Dish Sales portal, you'll see a port in status option. You're just gonna type in the phone number, and you'll see the customer's account right here. And you can make any corrections to their account, including address, port in account number, and port in PIN, and just hit submit. And all of those changes will reflect. This is a significantly quicker process of resubmitting the port in than calling customer care if you had made a mistake yourself. So for example, I have this happen all the time. You type in the wrong account number, even though you have the right one, you can quickly fix it yourself. Rather than calling in and obviously waiting for them to do that for you. All right.
Awesome, Alex. Thank you so much. And so you guys know as well, this BTN training guide. So besides the live examples, we just walk them through it. The BTN training guide is actually on the sales portal under quick links. It's a large document, right? It's like 67, 68 pages. I know that's a lot, but it's all hyperlinked. So you can go to whatever category that you're interested in, and you can go through it just as quick as Alex did. So if it's a new line, if it's upgrade, if it's an add line, support in, you click on that section, it'll take you right to those pages. So you don't have to read through the whole 68 pages necessarily. You can jump right to that category you needed. Alex, that was an awesome job. Thank you guys so much for hopping on. We'll open up one last time. Are there any other questions remaining regarding the BTN network?
They're experts, Adam. I don't even know why you're asking.
All right, guys. Well, have a great month selling. Hopefully you have an awesome June. Get your events planned. Get that insurance attached. Because remember, you can do insurance on BTN. So we want to see that 100% insurance attach rate or as close as you guys can get to it. Thanks for everything you do. Have a great one, and we'll talk to you next week. Thank you.
Take care, y'all.